Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Worldwide Hippies News and Stuff for the week of March 28th. I am Winston Smith. Right to the news. Obama challenges the Miranda rights. Our president says it's okay to go ahead and interrogate Americans without giving them the Miranda rights. You just have to holler terrorists first. Don't forget habeas corpus, folks. It's nice to remember the good old days. And if you can still find some change in your couch and it's more than a few cents, then you have more cash than General Electric or Bank of America paid in taxes last year. In fact, General Electric received $3.2 billion in corporate welfare from U.S. taxpayers. What time is it? And in Afghanistan. No, it's not Ted Nugent, it's the boys out on a hunting trip. Last week, 22-year-old Army Specialist Jeremy Morlock was sentenced to 24 years in prison. Murlock could have been given the death penalty, but in a plea deal which includes his testifying against his fellow sportsmen, soldiers from the lodge, and given credit for time served already, this body parts trophy collector will be out on American streets in 7 years. Now you would think that, with over 4,000 images of these sportsmen in action, a harsher deal could have been made. It is unlikely, though, that any of these boys will be boys, trade you a finger for an ear squad, will receive the death penalty. Actually, I'll bet you a bumper sticker that they all will be back together, locked and loaded, out on the streets by deer season 2016. And this week our commentary is about Japan. Japan, has the corporate media mixed this up for you enough? I can tell you there are as many as 6 nuclear power reactors that are damaged. 4 are believed to be leaking radioactivity into the atmosphere and the water. In particular, the leaking of number 3 reactor, which uses plutonium, seems to be out of control. Plutonium is the most deadly substance known to man. Some or all of these reactors are suspected to have been built substandard to save money. Multinational corporations involved in the building, design, and operating have corporate links to some or all of the major media outlets that are reporting this story. So if combined with the fact that governments of Japan and the United States in particular are controlled by the multinational corporations, the question of truthful and accurate information being reported to the masses must be taken into consideration when trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. But officially, radiation has been released into the air, officially, purposely by releasing the steam to relieve pressure or explosions from hydrogen buildups, but not enough for concern. Officials say radiation has been released into the air from pools holding spent fuel rods also, but not enough to be harmful. Officially, radiation is being released from water being flushed and or sprayed onto overheating reactors and cooling ponds, not in levels to be harmful. Radiation is in the nearby seawater from contaminated water being released into the sea. But not to worry about that either. It's a big ocean and it will be diluted, officials said. It might be a cracked containment vessel and further melting down, a spokesman said, but it probably is a broken pipe that is releasing radioactivity-laden water, flooding one reactor and sending 3 workers to the hospital. But they're expected to be released soon, so it can't be that bad. Authorities have discovered high levels of radiation in broccoli, cabbage, turnip, parsley, and other green leafy vegetables, saying that eating them regularly might pose a risk, but 100 grams per day for 10 days would only confer a year's worth of radiation at background levels, so pass the wine vinaigrette. Radiation is also showing up in milk. Don't let your kids drink it. No more will be sold from farms, the government said, that they decide are unsafe. The government also said that once stocks are gone from shelves, it's back to powdered milk from China and everything will be fine. Must be feeding those cows spinach and broccoli. Anyway, there's radioactivity in drinking water as far away as Tokyo. Don't let your kids drink that either, but it's in such low amounts there's nothing to worry about, said officials. The government also reported that cumulative radiation in the atmosphere is not a problem. The wind is blowing in the opposite direction from the mainland, wistfully passing over the contaminated seawater where it rises to the setting sun, up into the jet stream and across the Pacific to good old mainland USA. So, officially, Japan is saying to their people, if you don't drink the water, stay indoors, restrict breathing in air, and don't eat any food from a contaminated area, you will be okay. Oh, what's this? We have a special report just in here. Radiation levels have been found to be 10 million times the safe level in water tested at the plant over the weekend. But officials say that number can't be correct. Okay. And here in the U.S. Here in the USA, there's no worry. Our officials say we won't even be able to detect the plumes of radiation. This statement is at least partly true. It seems that some of the EPA's monitoring devices weren't working here. Whoops. Budget cuts to the EPA in recent years have left the job of watching and monitoring and maintenance of radioactivity detecting devices up to volunteers. One volunteer was very surprised to see an EPA maintenance truck show up last week to fix his broken monitor. That was really news to him. He had been watching it for a while thinking it was working properly. So at least in that case, there was no radiation being detected. But not to worry, Senator Barbara Boxer, a California Democrat who chairs the U.S. Senate Environment and Public Works Committee, plans a hearing in the coming weeks on nuclear safety. It must be that the rest of the 100-plus monitors are defective also. They're picking up a rise in radiation here in the U.S., and that can't be correct. The EPA said there would be no radiation. Really? This system is another example of millions, if not billions, of tax dollars going to corporations who in the end provide very little in return, and oversight that ensures failure through underfunding the operation, its maintenance, and its effectiveness. These are systems that were meant to protect the commons, systems that are being totally neglected by the people elected by us. What's next? Volunteers to oversee Wall Street? Actually, that might work. Anyways, officials here are telling us that there is no radioactivity except some. It will never show up here, but now that it has, it won't hurt you. Okay? Officially, we have a totally bogus system for this kind of thing. But you're all right. You haven't lost any hair yet, have you? And if you do, well, Congress is on it, and they will have funds made available for multinational pharmaceutical corporations to come out with a pill for your stress-related hair loss. Oh, I hear it's time for our Asshole of the Week. This week is Deputy Prosecutor in Johnson County, Indiana, Carlos F. Lamb. He's a real good buddy of Scott Walker. He resigned last week. According to a Mother Jones online article, emails revealed that Lamb wrote to his good buddy in Wisconsin, if you could employ an associate who pretends to be sympathetic to the unions, cause to physically attack you, or even use a firearm against you, you could discredit the unions, end quote. Law called the stunt a, quote, false flag operation, going on to say that such a move, quote, would assist in undercutting any support that the media may be creating in favor of the unions. God bless Carlos F. Lamb, end quote. After first lying and saying that he was, quote, flabbergasted and would never advocate something like this, end quote, Carlos F. Lamb admitted to sending the emails when confronted with them, and he resigned. Lamb is the second Indiana prosecutor to lose his job for making controversial statements about the Wisconsin protests, which have roiled the capital of Madison for more than a month. In another Mother Jones article last month, Jeff Cox, an Indiana Deputy Attorney General, tweeted that Wisconsin police should use, quote, live ammunition, end quote, to clear protesters from the state capitol. Ended up, the Indiana Cox had to be terminated. But for his attempt to discredit and negate all of the efforts of hardworking, honest, peaceful Americans who took part in protests in Wisconsin, and his, if not criminal, treasonous behavior in undermining democracy in the United States, Carlos F. Lamb is our asshole of the week. That's the news for Worldwide Hippies for this week. I want to thank you all, and we will see you next Monday.